So today we'll be getting into some stories about Roman Reigns vs Seth Rollins, Aalyah Mysterio, and Bobby Lashley. Let's start things off with this time off and surprise for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley came out on top and retained his WWE title at WrestleMania Backlash. But the more intriguing part came after that match. During a post-match interview with MVP and Bobby Lashley, MVP bragged about all the big wins Lashley has been getting and how he's earned a break and some time off. MVP also mentions how he has some surprises and a trip planned for Bobby Lashley. It's still not clear if this surprise and this trip are meant to be off-screen things or if we'll actually see whatever the surprise is on Raw. That part is still unknown. Look at AJ Styles and Omos as a perfect example of that. They apparently had a 4-week-long celebration and trip off screen after their WrestleMania win. So what does MVP really have planned for Bobby Lashley? Even though MVP mentioned this trip, break, and celebration, it just seems very unlikely for Lashley to actually miss any amount of Raw episodes. He's the WWE champion. Raw is in a bit of a shaky state right now, so they definitely need their champion on the show. So it doesn't seem like it'll be an off-screen celebration, but it also brings up the question of who will be Lashley's next opponent. Does the feud with Drew McIntyre continue because Drew wasn't pinned at Backlash? Well, McIntyre vs Lashley started feuding towards the beginning of the year, so it feels like fans are sort of reaching the burnout phase of that feud right now. It definitely feels like both of them should move on, but Drew wasn't pinned, so that whole narrative could lead to another singles match, but we'll see what's planned there. Aalyah and Angie Mysterio returned to WWE programming for the first time in several months. For Angie, it was her first real appearance since the fall. For Aalyah, it was her first appearance since December. Aalyah and Angie appeared on WWE's Watch Along for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match between Rey Mysterio and Dominik versus the Dirty Dogs. It was interesting because Aalyah and Angie both gave some insight on how Rey and Dominik are at home. Aalyah revealed that winning the tag team championships with Dominik became Rey Mysterio's main wrestling goal the second that Dominik told them he wanted to be a wrestler. Rey Mysterio set that goal for the both of them and told Dominik that it was going to happen and how they were going to work extremely hard for it. So that's where they really set the bar for themselves. Aalyah and Angie also talked about how it's wrestling talk all day long in the house. Rey Mysterio and Dominik spend all day long just watching films on their matches. Rey would correct Dominik, show him what he's doing wrong and certain things he can improve on in the ring. Dominik would also bring up other footage and question Rey on how he can pull other things off as well. Angie revealed that they even bring the wrestling discussion to the dinner table, and she has to tell them put the phones away so they can all eat in peace. So you just gotta love that from Rey and Dominik. You have this young upcoming star that has this deep passion for wrestling. He wants to study. He wants to know how he can perfect his craft in any way at all. Then you have the veteran, Rey Mysterio, who's just as excited and passionate to pass down everything he knows to his son. So the future couldn't be any more bright for Dominik, especially considering that Hall of Fame instructor that's right by his side. Dominik and Rey did end up winning the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which is, of course, a massively historic accomplishment. Rey Mysterio and Dominik are the first father and son duo to win WWE Tag Team Championship gold. In all of WWE's existence, there has never been a father and son that won their tag team titles together. It was just unheard of, and definitely not something you would expect to see every day. So you have to respect it because of the history behind that win. A father and son are WWE Tag Team Champions for the first time in WWE's entire existence. As far as their title reign, they should have a decent title reign, especially given the fact that it's such a historic win. But who would dethrone Rey Mysterio and Dominik? Well, if Roman Reigns is able to get Jimmy and Jay on the same page again, then it would really seem like Rey and Dom would lose the titles to Jimmy and Jay. It sort of feels like we could be heading that way for sure. Jimmy is being real stubborn right now, but everyone has the feeling that he'll eventually fall in line. If he falls in line, they clear the path for Jimmy and Jay to target the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It just feels like we're heading in that direction to see all of the Bloodline members all hold gold at the same time. Roman Reigns has been talking about how his family runs WWE. Well, what better way to back that up than having Roman, Jimmy, and Jay all holding gold together? So if we had to take a guess for the endgame of Rey and Dom's reign, it would be Jimmy and Jay for sure. But we'll see how that turns out. What are your thoughts on Rey Mysterio and Dominik's tag team title win? Speaking of Roman Reigns, let's get into the closing moments of WrestleMania Backlash, because there was a massive teaser right there. Roman Reigns defeats Cesaro after Cesaro passed out. It's sort of like what they did at WrestleMania with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. The defending champion gets an impressive win by defeating a top contender, but the contender never actually tapped out, so it seems like there's a way of protecting the contender as well. That finish makes everyone look good in their eyes. Roman gets the clean, impressive win, while Cesaro never actually tapped out. So that seems to be the strategy there. Roman Reigns even had a small moment during the match with Cesaro, where he used some of Daniel Bryan's moves and continued to mock Daniel Bryan. So that was another nice little touch there as well. Roman is also getting back on track when it comes to big wins without any help. He had little help at WrestleMania, but he still ended that match off in impressive fashion by stacking Edge and Daniel Bryan up and pinning the both of them for the win. He followed that up with a clean win over Daniel Bryan and now a clean win over Cesaro. So it's nice to see things changing up a bit from what it used to be of Roman struggling with every opponent and needing Jade to basically defend the title for him. So it's great to see that repetitive element change up and have Roman actually be back to being as dominant as he was during his babyface days. You can still throw in some cheating into the matches from time to time. He is heel after all, but it's great to see him finally start picking up wins on his own as well. They definitely have to keep mixing in those clean wins into the rotation for sure, but Jay comes out and, just judging by the look on his face, it seems like he's at least thinking about what his brother Jimmy has been saying over the last few weeks. He doesn't take it out on Roman Reigns though. He takes it out on Cesaro, which leads to Seth Rollins coming out. That's when the teaser really started. Seth Rollins comes out while Jay is attacking Cesaro. So there was probably a moment there where you wondered why Seth was coming out here. Is he here to stop Roman and Jay? Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have a big stare down. You think Seth is moments away from attacking Roman, but then he turns to the side and attacks Cesaro. It's very clear to see what WWE was heavily teasing there, and that was Roman versus Seth. Roman's list of victims is adding up. He's taken out a lot of top stars during his historic reign, but one star he has yet to face is Seth Rollins. WWE has been teasing this matchup for months now with small, carefully written hints. Things like Seth stealing Roman's nicknames, Seth giving Jay orders, Roman and Jay talking backstage. It's been all these little things that were carefully placed that let us know that Roman vs. Seth is on the way. It's a big matchup, so it's more likely that they'll save it for when fans return in the summer. But for now, we should definitely keep seeing teasers until it's time for that massive feud. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.